Well, hello again. I'm Bill Russell, president of Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce, and we have another edition of Around the Lake. And this one is the Christian Montessori School of Lake Norman, and we have Nancy Radkiewicz. And Nancy, I have to ask you, you had a trivia question for me the other day. You asked me, what does Julia Child, Anne Frank, and Jeff Bezos have in common? And I was completely stumped. I mean, I'm thinking for a while. And go ahead and give the answer.
Well, but can I add one more person to it?
Oh, please. Yeah.
Let's add Beyonce.
Oh, Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the answer?
The answer is they were all Montessori children at this age, infant, toddler, and preschool.
So we were also discussing, exactly what is a Montessori school. And I had a conceptual idea of what I thought you did, and it wasn't right. So explain what is a Montessori school?
Okay. Montessori was a physician, a doctor who lived 100 years ago in Rome. And she actually had to have permission from the Pope to become a physician because she was a woman. But hey, we've moved beyond that, so that's good. She was studying young children and observing how they really learn. And she discovered that they really don't learn from you telling them things. They learn by experiencing things, touching, moving, lifting, feeling, identifying things. So she developed a pedagogy, which is the most used pedagogy in the world currently. And it provides hands-on lessons that children get to choose what they do. There's a lot of freedom of movement. They move around the class and they choose the materials that they want to work on. And the concepts then become from abstract to concrete. So at a very early age, even as young as 18 months, they, see, there's something to delete. At a very young age, they can figure out the different weight of objects. Our school happens to be 27 years old, and we serve infants, toddlers, and preschool age. And these children learn to concentrate and develop self-confidence and really operate quite successfully in a multi-age environment. So much of traditional education says, okay, you're 7, you're in first grade, and you can't meet or talk to second graders because you're only in first grade, and you're, all of that separation. And Montessori in her research discovered there were similarities in learning and where they were with their learning. And so our children spend 2 to 3 years in the same classroom. So the teacher knows them, there's no downtime, right. And they also kind of learn like a family. And then, of course, we're a Christian school, so we share the teachings and the beliefs of Jesus with our students.
Nancy, I guess one of the things that I didn't know, I thought that the Lake Norman Christian Montessori School was preschool through like grade school. And you corrected me the other day. Share what are the ages, what's your target market?
Our market right now is 6 weeks of age to age 6. Mm-hmm. But there are Montessori schools all around North Carolina and the whole country that go as high as high school. This method is used all the way through.
And what do you think makes your preschooling school different from all the rest? You went into it just now, but what makes yours stand out?
Oh, wow. We are so different. I say to parents when I give tours, you have childcare and you have Montessori, and they're really very different. Our children choose the work you might call it playing, we call it working. Mom works, dad works, you work. The materials in the classroom, the multi-age classrooms really develop a sense of family and working with other children. We use positive discipline, which gives a child a chance to respond other than to say no. And I'll give you an example. One of my toddler teachers was trying to get a little boy to go and change his diaper, and he said, "No, I don't want to." And she said, "Well, would you like to hop like a bunny or crawl like a tiger?" And boy, off he went right to the changing table. So it's a different way of approaching by offering choice. Our Our children, our toddlers, who are not even 3 years old yet, have a 2-hour work time. That seems like a lot to a lot
Yeah.
of parents, but it flies by instantly. Our primary 3, 4, and 5-year-olds have a 3-hour work time. They're exhausted. Then they go outside and play. And so we're very different. We have Montessori, when she started her method and her research, she saw that these children were supposedly running wild on the streets because their parents were working in the city of Rome.
Sure. Yeah.
And so she decided they needed practical life lessons. So children learn how to pour, how to sweep, how to put their works away. I had a mom in Colorado come up to me and say, I just had to come and see what you're doing with my son. And I said, excuse me, what do you mean? And she said, well, we were trying to go somewhere this summer and he wouldn't get in the car and he was just throwing a hissy fit. And I don't know why, until we took him back in the house, he wanted to put his toys away. How
Nancy,
did you get him to do that?
What are the communities you draw from? I mean, where all do your students come from?
Well, 66% of our current population are from Huntersville.
Mhm.
We have about 17% from Cornelius. We have a couple from Charlotte. We have some from as far away as Burlington and Concord, but mostly it's Huntersville, which is where we're located.
What is your headmaster now?
Yes.
What do you enjoy most about your job at your school?
Oh, I'll tell you what, it is such a blessing. I have 2 children of my own that are young adults, but I don't have grandchildren. So what I enjoy the most is the beginning of the day when they come in and we take them to their classroom, and I just get to have some hug time with them. So for me, it's really been a gift. I had retired and thought I was done with education, and then COVID hit and I went, oh, no, I got to be around children. I have to be around teachers. I just love the environment. So for me, it's a real blessing. Plus, knowing and seeing how happy they are. We have just very happy children here.
At the conclusion of this video, we'll have your website. I assume that's maybe the best way to contact you.
Yes. And I do tours. Now I'm down to about 1 a month. I have about 14 families coming tomorrow for a tour.
Wow.
And we have a wait list. It's not terribly long, but we are always moving the children because there are divisions between infant and toddler and primary. And so right now I have some toddlers who've turned 3 and they're really ready for primary. So they're in the process of moving up into primary. So we have openings throughout the year.
I think you live here in the Lake Norman region, right?
I do. I bought a house in Cornelius.
What do you enjoy most about living in Cornelius or the Lake Norman area?
Oh, well, certainly the lake is fabulous. I love the climate here in the lake, but I really love the people. They're all so friendly, and traffic's a problem, but people are so nice. They'll stop and wave you on and tell you to go, and it's really a very kind community. I used to come down here when I was running a charter Montessori school up in Maryland. And my best friend from high school lived in Cornelius, so I'd come and visit, and I just loved it. So when this became open, I jumped for it.
Well, Nancy, we appreciate you sharing a little bit about Montessori because, again, I thought I had a good idea of what you did, and then spending just 5 minutes with you on the phone the other day, I was like, whoa, I really didn't. So thank you for sharing today a little bit about the Christian Montessori School of Lake Norman. And I appreciate everybody watching. Joe Vagnone is the sponsor of our program, making it possible. And we want to thank everybody for watching and everybody for being involved, and hope everyone has a really, really good weekend, especially you, Nancy.
Thank you. You too, Bill. Thanks.